Go ahead.
All right. Recording is started. So thank you everyone who is here. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Bruce, my name's Dustin, and I'm a volunteer for Elegant Themes to be a Divi Meetup organizer. And I own my own business. I've been building with Divi for the last, 12 years, I think now. So yeah, very familiar with Divi and have been a meetup organizer since 2019. So glad to have everyone here. To start, so I'm gonna do a demo of Divi AI and what it can do, some of the nuances that are there, and then also if you guys have other questions either about AI or Divi itself, WordPress, anything like that, we'll kind of open the floor up for you guys and we can chat about that as well. So let me share my screen to get started. So like I had mentioned just a bit ago, Divi AI does require a membership add-on. So you might have already purchased a license for Divi, but to use AI does require an extra fee. So it's not terribly expensive when you consider a per month usage. Big reason why this costs is because there are the underlying service that does the AI generation has several API calls that are made and just requires a lot of resources for that. And so to be able to support the AI infrastructure within Divi just has a cost that goes with it. So I'd say it's definitely worth it if it saves time and can help you put together a website even faster. So there's that. We'll refer to this here in a little bit, but tips for AI image prompting. When it comes to AI, getting AI images generated is super hard. I think it's one of the hardest things to do with AI, and it's all going to come down to the way that you write your prompt. And if you don't write it in a certain way, you're going to get some weird stuff. So with that, any questions so far? Nope, great. So I've got a demo site here, and to kind of show kind of the power of Divi and Divi AI is I'm just going to load in a template of sorts. And while they have a lot of theme related ones, I think a lot of us might come up across one that we like the layout more than we like the content or the way it's been intended. So let's find one like, we'll do something basic like this coaching one. It's not overly complicated, but I think it'll work. So we'll load the landing layout for this. Perfect. So the way Divi AI has been built is that it's going to rely a lot on the whole page as a whole to help prompt all of your content the best that it can. But still, it's going to rely on you to give it something to work with for it to be as successful. So let's say we like this layout, but we're a pest control company and we want to update our content for more pests and that service that we offer. So for basic stuff like business name, titles, all that, I would recommend that we actually update that ourselves. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought. And we'll just kind of leave it at that. So I'm just going to update some of the titles here. So like I said, it's easier. And then we'll just say our business name is Pest Busters. Cool. But now we're to a part of the website where we need a paragraph of text. And we're in a hurry. We're trying to just get this out the door for either the client to review or our other stakeholders. And we don't want placeholder text. So let's go ahead and edit this. And we have an option here because once we add AI into our Elegant Themes subscription, this becomes available for us to use. And we'll either see this button here, it says generate content with AI, or as we hover over our text block here, we'll see this new AI button here for AI options. So AI options is we can write with AI, improve with AI, or quick actions to either rephrase, lengthen, shorten, things like that. So what I'm going to do here, just because I'm starting from scratch, is I'm going to generate content with AI. And as it initially loads, it's going to try to come up with something right away, which it did. So rather than our placeholder text, it gave me a paragraph of, welcome to, and it inserted the website name, and then the home of pest busters. So it already looked for our H1 tag on the page and generated that. This is offering professional pest control services to help you get rid of those pesky intruders. And then looks like it kind of got a little lost. It injected the lorem ipsum in there, which is kind of funny. And then it also read some of the other rest of the placeholder text, about Cindy, which is lower on the page, and then pest control, things like that. So it did okay, but not really. Like, it gave me far more than I needed. So I'm just going to come down here. It says refine result. And this is just with it, text AI, I think it's a lot easier just to have a kind of a conversation to say, I need a paragraph that describes how great we are with servicing homes for pests, and just click regenerate. And then now we have a much shorter paragraph that says, welcome to website name, the leading experts in pest control services with our exceptional skills and knowledge. We're dedicated to providing top-notch service. So I think that's great. I'm just going to go ahead and click use this text, and it's going to insert it into our text box here. So now from here, I can either edit it myself, which I would highly recommend, rolling with exactly what the AI generated. Is probably not accurate, probably not in your tone of voice or your client's tone of voice, but this is a great start. Sometimes it's easier to edit a paragraph than it is to come up with the paragraph. So that's where this is handy. Now, earlier I had said that if we click on the AI icon that's inside of our text box here, we have some options. And that paragraph, although good, it needs to be shorter. And so I'm just going to click the shorten one, and it's going to take that paragraph and it's going to shorten it, and that's about in half. So I'm going to click use this text, and there we go. So we'll just take out some of the extra quotes that were added, and there we go. So now we have a quick paragraph for our website. So pretty cool. So any questions about text AI within Divi, how that works? I can show you another example if it would be helpful. Otherwise, we'll do an image one.
Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
I noticed it preloads I'm going to guess it's your site title and your tagline in that first sentence when it comes back with the paragraph text.
Yeah. Yep.
I had pretty good success just blanking both those out in mine, and it takes you a little more quicker straight onto what you might be looking for in some, if not all instances.
Sweet.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's part of the experimentation, I think, with AI is trying to help educate it or not educate it with information so that it gives you a better quality result. So
NET probably is not finished tweaking on it yet, too, I guess.
yeah, no, I think as good as this is, I think there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to this. So even though it's built into here, you still might prefer Chat GPT over what Divi's able to do. It's just the advantage of Divi is that it's reading the entire page for information and context to create something for you, which these other tools don't necessarily do. So, but great suggestion though, Elon. Thanks. So let's do an image one here really quick. So this is obviously a stock image that was preloaded in here. Don't really want it because we're changing it to pest control. So I'm going to choose the option generate with AI, and we can have our photo style here. I'm just going to leave it at the default because I do want it to look like a photo. And this is where it gets to be tricky, or your results can just be all over the place. So I would recommend coming to this blog post, and I'll go ahead and put it in our chat here. And I would say this is great for any AI tool that generates images for you. And then there's a section here called Form the Perfect Prompt. So they start off with what type of artwork do you want to achieve? Is it a photograph, drawing, things like that? State the subject, its attributes, environment, and scene. The more descriptive you are, the better the output. Then you think details, and then composition. And then they give kind of an example of what that looks like down here of you want a golden retriever sitting on a dock looking out at the water, mountain backdrop, blue sky, cinematic lighting, award-winning photography, full depth of field, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that because the formatting, the structure is there of what we're looking for. I'm going to come in here and paste that in, but I'm going to start updating some of these details specifically for pest control. So I'm looking for a pest control exterminator outside. Come on, let's see. Outside of a home, spraying bushes with pest control spray. Mountain backdrop, sure. Blue sky, sounds great. Cinematic lighting, sounds good. Nice photography, full depth field. Yes, sure. So we'll just roll with that and see what it does. We can upload a reference image. So if there's something specific-ish that we're going for that we like, we can upload that here and then still give it kind of a prompt to base itself off of. But we don't have that image right now, and we are trying to save time by not going to look for one. So we're going to just leave it at that. I'm going to do aspect ratio of portrait so that kind of fits the current space there. Size looks fine. Now I'm going to click generate. There you go. So this first one matches more what we were looking for. So I can either choose to use that one right now, or I can generate 4 more based on that image, like that one. So we'll go ahead and generate another set and see what we get. So here's an example of you don't know what you're going to get. Looks like this guy's spraying himself and it's coming out of his hat. So yeah, definitely, definitely a wild card. And well, I think these were generated pretty well, and it's incredible that AI could do that. I still think the one up here is our better option, reflects more of what we're trying to do. So we'll click use this image, and it'll download a copy into our library. So yeah, so it looks pretty good. So we're kind of well on our way to transforming this layout, this web page, to be more pest centric. And we could keep coming down. So like we could just change some of this ourselves. So about pest busters, we want a headshot image of a guy, the pest exterminator. And let's actually improve this one. See how this goes. See, make this person look like a pest control exterminator. And then reference image influence. So 30% is good, but let's see if we can just bump that up, see what it does. Yep, didn't do anything that we wanted it to. And so we can keep playing with it. Oops. If it doesn't turn out well, we'll just ask it to generate something entirely different. And it's not doing anything. I don't know what is going on in her hands.
Yeah. Please give her a hat. A cap.
Yeah. So you can kind of see like image AI generation, it can change things, which is cool, but the prompting and the AI engine definitely needs some help. So we'll just say we want a headshot of a professional pest control person. Oh, we don't want to have a reference image generate. Okay, sure. Why not? They look more like they're in a uniform, and we'll just use that. So definitely something you could spend a lot of time with playing around with and generating content. So let's see, here we'll generate a paragraph for our about section. And we're going to just, again, give it a prompt of explain why we are the best in the Salt Lake City area for removing pests from homes and businesses. We use the best product that lasts the longest, something. So just a couple sentences here will give us a paragraph or more of text. So that looks good. I'm just going ahead and use it. We could refine it some more or lengthen it. We could also, like I said, lengthen it by just coming over here, click AI options, and then lengthen. It'll take that entire paragraph that's already there and should add to it. And then we can just insert that. So there's that option. So it did add a few words. It's not much longer, but it works. So a lot of that. So ideally, if I were to be doing this with a real purpose, I would come through and I would update as many titles as I could before I started having AI generating content for me. And that's largely because I want it to learn from the page about what it is I'm trying to achieve or communicate, and then it can generate content. But as it is now, it's getting confused with finance coaching, and I'm trying to build a pest control website. So by updating a lot of this will help it learn and just create better results for you. Any questions about that so far? I'm going to shift gears just once more before we wrap up the demo.
Does it have the ability to do global changes? Could you tell it to do that?
Like
You said it's examining the entire website, right?
Largely the page. It's going to take some basic information like your site title and tagline as well, but it's going to read from the page more than anything.
Oh, it does it by page and not by all the pages.
Right.
Okay, but so could you globally make it change something? If a page has something similar on the page, if it's like a run-on page, a long page, could you tell it to change everything of what you're changing?
No, just because at least not right now, because every time that we are like, our only option is like this paragraph right here or this text module.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have the option to extend that out to say every text box I want it to, update it with a paragraph about XYZ. So it's just, it's hyper focused to this specific area, and then, but it'll read for context other text boxes and titles and things like that.
Okay.
And the more text you have, the better even your AI generation is going to be too, because it's going to read the AI for photos, will read the text for context, and then also help create a photo.
So it would get better as you go through the page and change more things on the page. Then it would become more and more accurate because it's drawing more on what you did than what's left.
Yep, exactly. Yes. And that's just going to be true of every AI tool out there. The more you can educate it, the better your result's going to be. In August, I was at WordCamp US, and I went to an AI workshop, and they said, like, using ChatGPT, because that was just kind of the most popular at the time, and probably still is. They suggested that when you start your ChatGPT, is that you need to feed it all kinds of information, like, this is the business, this is where they're at, this is what, just kind of really just tell it, like, remember this. And I would be like, great. And then you say, now I need a list of 5 things that people need for pest control, or whatever it is. And then it'll pump it out. Or you could say, I need a paragraph for this, but it has remembered all the information above. So it has all that context to create a result for you. So this is no different. So the more you can give it up front, the better it's going to be.
Okay.
So absolutely. Cool. But great question. Totally. So I wanted to show the last bit of Divi AI, and this is their more recent release of Divi AI, and that's code generation. And that, I think, is pretty sweet. So I wonder if there's a module here already we can use. I want to use like a blurb module. So I think what I'm just going to do is just add one here for fun. Okay. So with Divi AI code, you might have something you want it to do or to look like, and you don't know how to get there, and the Divi design tools won't get you all the way there. So what you can do is you go to the Advanced tab, click Custom CSS, and then if you're on the freeform CSS, and that's important, because it's going to be able to select or put in all the selectors for CSS, while module elements is hyper focused to like your pseudo classes for before or after main element, blurb image, right? But freeform can target more and do more for you. So using our blurb module, and I've had a client ask me to do this, and so for our demo here, I think this will be a good example, is that they wanted the image and a title, but their description, they only wanted it to show when somebody hovered over the blurb module. So all of that would be done with CSS, but now we can just ask Divi to do it. So we could say, please, or say, we don't have to be too polite, but we could say, hide the blurb text until hover, and then generate code. Okay. So now it's gone, and I'm so we can see it's gone. So I'm going to say use this code, but then when I hover over, it appears. So we're getting there, but now I can say improve with AI, and I'm going to refine the result, and I'm going to ask it to flip the blurb text. I'm going to be a little more specific. I'm going to say use a flip transition for the blurb text on hover and regenerate. Okay. So if you're familiar with CSS, you'll start to see some of these things changing. So display none is what we want. Transition is our flipping action, and then it's just going to rotate 180 degrees on hover. So we'll use this code, and that didn't work as well, but this is part of the journey. So let's rewrite it to be a lot more specific with what we're looking for. So hide the blurb text on until hover, and on hover use a flipping up transition, and we'll replace the text or code there. Use this, and now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so before you would have to know a lot of these CSS selectors for the specific module before you could even start writing this, and then you'd have to know all the CSS for like transitions and keyframes to get your code in there. So I would definitely say you need to have an understanding still of CSS and HTML and JavaScript, depending on the complexity of what you're trying to do. But if you're able to describe it well enough, what you want to do without that knowledge, you might get a result that's pretty darn close to what you're looking for. So that's pretty cool. And then if we add like the code module, we have the same code with AI, but now in this module, it'll actually, rather than generating only CSS, we could get it to generate JavaScript as well. And so if we're looking for, let's see, we want when a blurb module is clicked, reveal a text module. Generate code. Boom. Okay. So now it's giving us CSS classes that we would add to our modules. So for the text and blurb, we would add those in. And then it's already figured out and has added in HTML and things like that with our JavaScript to look for the click and the action and things like that. So we can do a lot, and this won't render until we're out of the page. But So yeah, lots of things. The code one is definitely, to me, a lot more advanced, and you've got to have an understanding of what it's doing, because you'll likely have to fix some of it or make tweaks to it to get it to be exactly right. And anyways, that's kind of the super quick demo I had for you guys. Just kind of a how does it work, where does it work, things like that. But if you have questions, I'd love to answer them, and they don't need to be related to our demo, but if they are, let's see what you got.
I got a question, Dustin.
Yeah.
So with this AI subscription, is it one price, or is it like for like an agency, like an individual, small business?
Great question. So let me just pull up that page again. Yep. So pricing is an add-on to your existing Elegant Themes membership. So this is more for your question. So all of your team members get to use Divi AI.
Right.
So on your account, you get to use it. If you've added team members, they get access to it. So yeah, but they don't have a lifetime option, but you can either pay yearly or monthly for it.
Right. What I'm saying is, so all your team members, if it's just one person that's just making websites,
yep,
and they have to pay the same as a company that maybe had like 10 people. It's one price for everything, right?
yep,
Just having access to it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how would they all have access to it though? Would they just have to be able to sign into the Divi account?
Yeah, so when you go to add team members, then they would have an Elegant Themes account, and then they would have access to the things that you've purchased and things like this.
Oh, okay.
Through team members, yeah. And I'll be candid, I haven't used Divi Teams because my team isn't big like that. And we've been using the one account forever, so using Divi Teams just hasn't been worked into our workflow. So, but I have looked into it. And so
there is a separate thing for Divi Teams. I didn't realize that. Like I do have the lifetime membership. It's just me and my wife, we use it. But there's something separate for Divi Teams.
it's just in your account.
Oh, okay.
When you go to,
You can just add members to your account, like me and her use it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
but we have like one sign in though, just because we both work on this. She basically has her business, and I make the website for her.
yeah.
That's basically what it is. And I might make something. I think I might make my own website too. Put it out there. But it's still using the same. They're all stored the same place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you just have like a broader team and trying to share resources. Because there's Divi Cloud, which you can store your layouts and lots of different things in there now. Yeah. And so it's just you can kind of push a lot of those resources out to everyone involved just through Divi Teams.
Is the way Divi works, would I be able to have like separate login? Like if me and her had our own thing and we really weren't working together, we could both have our own separate login for our product?
Yeah, you could use the same account, like same overall account, but then one of you could be a team member. Yeah.
So then she wouldn't have access to mine. I wouldn't have access to hers then, because it's just a separate login, or how does it work?
Yeah, it'd be you'd have your own login, but as a team member, you would still see and have access to everything that's gone into Divi Cloud or Divi AI, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same concept is a lot like your like project management tools where you add team members into it and they can start to see everything. They kind of benefit from the primary account holder and everything they've paid for. So
Okay. All right. That's it.
cool. Great questions. Anyone have anything else? Jan, you got something for me? I saw you unmute yourself.
No, I unmuted just to say thank you. And it's interesting because you did another one a while back about AI. And I just find it very fascinating about the direction it's going. And I know a little bit, know that you need to feed the AI. They have to have a resource to feed it, get the information, and write the copy. And I, as a writer of copy, am getting replaced by AI.
Yeah, I don't think writers are going to be replaced by AI. I
No.
think writers could augment with AI.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's why I'm really interested. Very interesting. And thank you for all your hard work, Dustin. I appreciate it all of those couple of years.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I'll have to check with Ardell why she didn't show up today.
Oh, Ardell.
I'm
Yep. See how she's doing.
now checking with her.
So
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. For talking today.
yeah, thanks. Yeah. Well, I'll just say, it is Friday. I don't want to hold anyone hostage, so if there's no more questions, nothing else I can show you, I'll let you guys go. Yep, it is new for a lot of us, absolutely. But if you have, like I said, you don't have to talk about AI, but if you have other WordPress or Divi questions, we can definitely talk about those too. Here to help you guys feel successful in whatever it is you're doing.
You too.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Take care.
Yep. Thanks, Bruce. Bye.